Peace out, guys. What's up? It's your boy Eru, host of the Dying podcast, back with another podcast. This is something different, man. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, Diehard has a friend. Do I have friends? I do all these podcasts, whatever. I'm constantly wasting a lot of time talking to you degenerates out there, to give you a little segue to to the guest that I have on today. Do a lot of talking, whatever, spend a lot of time with you guys virtually, but I don't have too much interaction with my friends outside, family and stuff like that. So do I have friends, man? So I got guys popping in this week. They're gonna give me their takes, and we're gonna find out if Die Hard has a friend, man. So without further ado, let's get into a Die Hard Next podcast. Where's the damn intro? There it goes. Yeah, guys. So I use the word degenerate, man. So like I said, that's a segue into the guest that I have on today. Also, to a spoiler alert in the chat, we got Yankees morning, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly who I have here. So before I get him in here, I'm gonna embarrass him like I told him I was gonna do. I went on this show on on a humble because I saw him on Instagram. So I'm like, oh shit, look at him on Instagram. So I said, let me go see if I can find him on YouTube. So I found him on YouTube, and as soon as I popped in, like he comes in and he does this to me, man. It's just like this is like it's amazing. Almost makes me want to cry, a little bit because this is why I do the show, just to meet other diehards and stuff. So let's just get this. Let me get this damn keyboard out of here. Let's get into it.
Then you got Hobby Baez was 2 for 4. Hobby Baez turned it. Oh, my man. What is good, Die Hard Knicks podcast? Salute, bro. Salute. Everybody out there. You guys know I'm a Die Hard Knicks fans, right? Die Hard, right? Just like the name of the podcast. But one of the first guys that ever welcomed me as a content creator was the Die Hard Knicks podcast.
Yeah, man. So let me stop embarrassing. Let me get him in hand. What's good, my man?
What's good, bro? First of all, I want to let everybody know this is not the same outfit that I was wearing that last clip that you just saw. I just got the same hat. I just shaved the beard. But Eru, bro, it's been a pleasure. Like I was saying in the video, when I first got into this game of being a content creator, I started on IG, and you were the first person that I've interacted with and the first person to welcome me into this world, bro. So you've always had a special place in my heart from that day, and we've always had a mutual relationship ever since. And I appreciate you looking out and having me on here, bro. Thank you.
But it's been a long time coming, man. Because I mean, we're talking about first time. Yeah, you probably like one of the first people I interacted with, also. In this whole internet stuff, just trying to figure out what it is. At the time it was before pandemic and stuff. So it was about meeting up, whatever. We'll talk about that in a second too. But now everything is virtual, so everything is so much more easier, man. So it's finally I got you on here because, like I said, you do stuff like that. That's not the first time you did it. You've been doing it throughout the years. Also, too, same thing on my end. Every time somebody pops in, shout out to Jarrell. Me and Jarrell actually gonna go on and do the same thing tonight. But just interacting with people, man. This is why I get into it, because in everyday life, I'm a Knicks fan, and talking to other Knicks fans is always disrespect. There's no conversation having like they used to, like in the 90s and stuff, because we just been losing. You know what I'm saying? So now, it's just the internet age. You get out there trying to find somebody like you, man. So I'm glad I was able to finally get you on here, because that's what it's all about.
Nah, I appreciate you, bro. And us Knicks fans, we just suffer from PTSD from the Knicks. We just been spurned so many years and been treated like the evil stepchild for so many years by these Knicks. Hopefully they can turn it around.
Yeah, no doubt. But we talked offline and stuff, man. We got a lot of common, man. I broke my damn foot, so I'm home all jacked up. You know what I'm saying? So I know you hurt your back and stuff, man. So so how you feeling? I know I asked you already, but how you feeling? Tell about how you feel.
I'm good, bro. But it's kind of been like a blessing in disguise. First and foremost, yeah, I'm happy that I'm alive. I'm able to like still walk around, do my daily thing. But it's been a blessing in disguise because it's given me this time this past year to work on my passion, what I actually want to do, and that's this. I was with the For the Love of the Game guys. Shout out to my guy Hardwell. Shout out to my guy Worldwide Mayberry. That's where I started out, and then I got this opportunity from the Knights of Degen, KOD. I will get into that a little bit. And like I said, it's been a blessing in disguise. But like I said, I'm glad that I'm breathing and I'm glad that I'm walking.
Yeah, speaking of walking, I can't do that at the moment. You know,
I'll do the
I,
walking for us, my guy. I'll do all the walking for us.
yeah, I was out there trying to enjoy the time with my family, man. I freaking busted on my foot. My foot is all swole up. Couldn't sleep last night, so that's why. I was telling you, I look like a candle. I'm like melting them from the top coming down and stuff, man. So crazy. Well, I mean, it's
All
another thing
good,
too,
all
man.
good.
Before pandemic, let me
Mhm.
post this again. Get your beautiful face up there twice. So is this the pizzeria we was talking about, Scars?
Yes, Scar's Pizza. That guy Scar, I worked at a pizzeria in Little Italy called Lombardi's, and
Right.
Scar actually started there, right? And that's where I was at when I was 17, 18 years old. And if you guys go to Scar's Pizza, I'm not just saying this just because it's a guy that worked at the same spot, we worked together or whatever, but he's literally rated as the #1 slice in New York City. And everything they do there is fresh. Like I'm a real pizza snob, bro, from me working at where I worked at before in the past. But
Yeah.
it's literally everything fresh. They milled it on flour, on spot, at location. So it's real good. I always recommend people to go there. Go check out Scars.
Yeah, definitely, man. This is also a like a traditional hip hop spot. A lot of people go there,
Hmm.
they go way out their way just to stand out there. So while you waiting
Hmm.
for pizza, and then you never know who you're gonna see out there, just hanging
Yeah.
out, and shit, trying to pick up a pizza.
Yeah. That area is just, it has so much history, rich history. You said it, in the hip hop scene and the B-boy scene and the dance scene. Like that area over there is just rich in history.
Yeah, definitely, man. The last time I was over there, it's been a while though. We were talking about pandemic stuff. So when I
Hmm.
first went, not the last time I went out there, some guy tried to buy my pie from me because he was waiting. He didn't want to wait, so he wanted to buy the pie from me. So I said, "Nah, man, I gotta get out of here. We talking about like I'm
And
just
that's the
serious."
thing. There's a line. There's lines out around the block for Scars. It's well known.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, man. So hopefully, as time goes on, that everything starts to clear up a little bit and people get more
Hmm.
confidence that we can start doing things like this more in person and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Quick shout out real quick, but in October, actually, there's a big Yankee meetup. It's in Williamsburg. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with NYY News Source, the 780 source, but they're a Yankee channel. They're doing a meetup October. I'll send you the information, Eru, if anybody will want to go. I'm telling you, it's going to be an awesome time just for fans to get together. Because, like you said, it's been uh how can I say, a life weight on us for the past 2 years, being stuck how we have been stuck, everything virtual, things are opening it up. So I'm glad that it's starting to shift that way, that we're able to have these meetups with all these communities.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what's the name? Nothing but Knicks. They're doing the opening night game.
Hmm.
Most
Hmm.
like I think Knicks fan TV is gonna do it. Anthony Donahue. What's the other one? A couple other places, and they're gonna do the same thing because it's like a thirst for people to just wanna, to be together, just so you can be around like-minded people. You don't even got to know people. Like you get
Yeah.
to these events, you sometimes you be talking and you feel like, yo, man, what's your name? Like I've
Yeah.
been talking to you for like 3 hours. I don't even know who the hell your name is, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's very important for us to do that because we used to do that.
Hmm.
During the '90s, everybody talks about the '90s, early 2000s, but during that time, most of the sports teams were good. The Yankees were good,
Hmm.
Mets were good, up and down, Knicks were good. So that there was always something to talk about, always something positive. But throughout the hard times, and of course, because of what's happening nowadays with the, there's all this stuff going on now. We got monkeypox and all kind of stuff. Everybody's a little nervous and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but like you said, like the technology we have now is what it wasn't around in the 90s and the 2000s, right? So you didn't have these platforms where everyone could have the sit downs and these conversations. The closest we had to it, I'm not gonna lie, is you remember New York One at 11:30 when people used to call in just to give their takes.
yeah.
That was the closest thing we had to it, and then I remember going to certain Yankee games with my uncle, and he'll be having conversations with people. He'll be like, oh, I remember when you called into the show and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, but that was the closest thing to what it is right now.
Yeah, definitely. I used to do the same thing too. It got public access too. I've gotten
Mhm.
shouted, "Yo, man, you sound familiar, man. Yo, did you call the other night on
Yeah.
that show?" I'm like, but that's how it was then. A lot of word of mouth stuff, a lot of just
Mhm.
random. Oh, I just saw you there, or I heard about it. That type of stuff. But now everything is so much more easier, so it's cool, man. Hey,
Yeah.
man. So
Yeah.
I need you to explain Project Nerd. What's up with that? Because that's what I first saw you as. I know things
Yeah.
have evolved, but tell me
Mhm.
about Project Nerd.
Well, Project Nerd, that was just a name that my friends in the area where I grew up in, they gave me that name ever since a kid because I've always been just into just comics and just I've been the type of kid. That's why I'm an electrician now. But I was the type of kid that I'll take my PlayStation, take it apart just so I could see how it worked. you
You
know,
get one of
just so I can
those.
see how to put it. Yeah, just so I can see if I can put it back together to make it work. So I had that name from a young age, but it started out as being a place for me to express my takes on the Knicks, my takes on politics, and my takes on just gaming and video games in general, because I'm a big video game head, even to this day. But it's segued into me going on to Uncle Freezy's podcast and being able to get familiar with this community, and people getting familiar with me, and then linking up with Worldwide L at first to start For the Love of the Game, and then Hard Will because that was L's friend growing up. So the three of us, we had a good dynamic. And right now, you guys can find me on the Knights of Degen YouTube channel. If you guys aren't familiar with like the NFT world, the Knights of Degen is an NFT project, just like the Bored Apes is an NFT project, right? So it's like the second or third most popular NFT project out there in the space. But what it is, it's fan controlled football. The Knights of Degen is a team. KOD Media, it's what's affiliated with it. Just like, you know, you guys have Nothing But Knicks, it's the same thing. But then you got so many different shows. Like tomorrow I'm having on Jerry Ferrara. That's going to be an interesting conversation if you guys
Yeah,
are
I'm
familiar
really
with
looking
Power
forward
and
to that.
Turtle. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna slide in a couple Knicks questions for him real quick during the conversation. But it's been a place for me to, like I said, it's been a place for me to be able to express what I want to express as a fan. And like you said, whenever I see other people, if they want to have an opportunity to do the same thing, I always invite them on the panel and give them a chance also.
Yeah, definitely, man. I know you heard the music just now. That was actually from the Knights of Degan. So I just posted a link
Oh,
in the
appreciate it,
chat
appreciate it.
real quick there. So there it goes there for those that want to check it out. Nice to Degan. You know,
Yeah.
it's interesting, man. You got I see it's a nice startup. I like to see
Hmm.
startups, you know, to see when guys are really hungry and they really care
Hmm.
about it. So watching you guys grow from that bottom, you know, whatever
Hmm.
coming up to getting much bigger. And also too, NFT, I never heard of that before. You know,
Yeah.
associated with like a you know, like a YouTube streaming kind of like entity
Hmm.
like that. So that's good. It's groundbreaking stuff, man.
Because what the fan control football is, just so people can understand this, right? If you guys remember, Terrell Owens was having highlights of a league that he was playing in. That's the league that he was playing in, right? The Knights of Degen was actually the team that he was on. So the team that I work for is the team that TO was playing for in this past amateur league. So what the fan control football is, what it does, Eero, it gives the powers to the fan. Right. So say like if me and you know, we're part of the Knights of Degen, we get to pick our players every week. It's a fantasy draft every week. We get to pick the plays, we get to pick the offensive plays, we get to pick the defensive plays. So every aspect of the game, the fan is involved in. Then it has different opportunities on the outside. This past summer, I've been going to different events with Tiki Barber, Mike Piazza, Bernie Williams, and all of that is because people having access to the Discord and to the Knights of Degen.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Because I mean, you know, that's another thing too. Like nowadays, you could touch players now, especially now that
Hmm.
they're retired and you know they're all trying to get into broadcast in some kind of way. A lot of them are like
Hmm.
us too. So then
Yeah.
once after they finish playing, now they're fans like you now. So now you
Hmm.
can touch them and whatever, and it's not like a weird thing like it was before. So you know, I really like just the way things are evolving with the new media and stuff like that. You know, I really am passionate about that because you know this one thing like I've been making fun of it the last few pods just like the whole like when I talk to people around the league, you know, that type of thing, or like according
Yeah.
to sources, you know, like that's all bullshit, man. Because listen,
Yeah.
like I got sources. I'm from New York. Like you talking about that with all the stuff that you do, that you were interacting with all these different places. Like, you know, like we're in New York, we do that, and it's
Hmm.
nothing. You know, yo, what's
Hmm.
good? You know, pound whatever, and y'all could just chop it up on some regular stuff. You know, so
It's very easy for us to go to Madison Square Garden and go talk to the security guy real quick to ask him what's his thoughts, and go back on YouTube or write a report, be like, yeah, sources at the Garden say.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. A security guard at the garden. I mean, that literally happens, man. We could be talking like, yo, blah, 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 blah. And security guard, like, nah, that ain't happening. That ain't true. Ain't
Yeah.
true. And then they'll show you tell you, like, nah, he ain't doing that. This is what's really happened. Like, oh shit, well, yeah, you ain't heard it from me though. You know, that
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just how we are here. You know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let me segue. Are you into hip hop at all?
Oh, definitely, 100%, bro. Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. I grew up where my grandma. She still has her limestone. It's literally a block away where Biggie's from, like right there on St. James and Lefferts. My grandmother's on Lefferts Place in Grand.
Okay, so you're from over there.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I'm from East New York, man. So you already know
Oh yeah,
the thing with
yeah, yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
well, the East, I could, people got to understand East New York and Brownsville, they're like their own type of boroughs. They're basically their own countries at the same time. Like they're so big, but they're literally like their own countries inside of Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, the East New York itself has like 4 or 5 different sections. Like one is the like the wet old far. We don't call each other that, but the far east side, then you got like the
Hmm.
north side, the west side of it, the south side. They're all different ecosystems within itself. And then, like you said, Brownsville it's just Brownsville, but there's also
Hmm.
2 sections of that too, and that's all within the same borough. And then, like you said, Bed-Stuy, that's a whole nother ecosystem over there. A
Yeah,
bunch of, that's like the Harlem of Brooklyn there over there.
yeah.
But the reason why I segue into that because there's this thing about Latinos and hip hop that's going
Hmm.
around. I saw Fat Joe talking about it, a couple other people too, and then like I just like click. When you get into comments, right? Now
Hmm.
that we're content creators, we get the
Yeah.
same thing. People go into our comments and they say all kind of crazy stuff. So anyway, people are discrediting like Latinos, mainly like Puerto Ricans and stuff like that, that we weren't a part of the culture and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
that irks me a lot because
Same.
when they talk about hip hop, they don't associate the 5 elements anymore, you know? So I mean
Hmm.
the style of dress, the way that you have your hair, your hat right there, the
Hmm.
open jersey, everything, just fat jerseys, whatever, like people wear vests and things like that. The way you do your sneakers, fat laces or untied, everything about that is hip hop. And that's something that just New Yorkers, just from like I said, we could talk to a superstar or talk to a bum, the same thing, and people just don't get that. So now we in 2022 and everybody has an opinion with the internet, so it
Hmm.
becomes a goofy situation here that people don't really understand, that whole concept.
Well, and that's you bring up excellent points, E. I attribute that more to like the commodification and the monetization of the culture, not just the music, the culture itself. There was literally these past couple of weeks, if you guys didn't see, there was literally an NFT project, a virtual AI that came out as a rapper, and Columbia
Yeah,
Records signed them. And all it was literally just a comic view of what mainstream America thinks that the black culture or the hip hop culture is. It was a mockery of it, honestly, at the end of the day, right? It was literally that Takashi 6ix9ine face with just tattoos. It was a mockery of the culture and a disrespect for the pioneers that went out there before us, that was passed away, some of the greats that passed away, and people who put in work. Because there's so many artists that we could probably consider to be in our top 10, but if you was to ask some random person in Utah or Minnesota, they probably never heard of them a day in their life.
right.
There's probably people in Utah that don't know who Uncle Murder is.
Yeah, I mean, I seen a list too that was going around on Twitter about like the worst rappers of all time. I think Rakim was on it and RZA was on it. It's like, come on, man.
Come on.
Like, it's a disconnect with the technology stuff is good because it gets people together in a different way, but not but
Mhm,
it puts us in a spot, where that we're gatekeepers now.
mhm,
I hate to do that, because we were just regular people too, but we have this platform. You got your platform, I got a platform, so we kind of like gatekeepers to the culture, whether it's Yankees, Knicks, or hip hop,
mhm.
or just the way that we are gatekeepers now. So it's our duty to like to talk about these different things just to keep those conversations going, to keep things real and authentic because we're
Mhm.
kind of losing that, like you said, with the whole virtual rap thing. That's crazy, man. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't
It's
really believe that.
it's gentrification to its ultimate degree.
Yeah. But not for nothing, we're to blame for that type of stuff too, because a lot of like these old school hip hop guys, they never really brought up the next generation. It was like, yo, I'm the
Mhm.
man kind of thing. And then 10 years pass, and it's like, oh snap, what happened? Now somebody else is in control, and now the young people don't remember you because you didn't do your job to keep bringing it up. And that's what the culture was supposed to be about.
It's because everybody wanted to be number one. Everybody wanted to be called the king. Everybody wanted to be labeled as the best rapper alive. And when it comes to a fan's perspective and competition, it's beautiful, right? But when it comes to the longevity of it, it doesn't make for great longevity.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I have you on the show, man, because like you big me up on your pod. If I wanna see you pop up in it, I give you the same love too because
Mhm.
it's our duty as a culture to keep the culture going. Because if we
Yeah.
don't do that, then we're gonna turn into what some people that I see on the internet, they're becoming like the media now. They're fighting each other and all kind of stuff. But that's not why we're supposed to have gotten into it. This is to preserve what it is to be a fan, the culture of that,
Mhm.
everything associated. So I appreciate you coming on. for that, because I know you're on the same vibe as I am, so
Yeah.
it's good for people
Yeah,
to see
listen,
that.
I'm somebody, I kumbaya, like peace, love, prosperity. I would love to see that everybody can eat and everybody's valid takes when it comes to their takes. Everybody has valid takes. You can have your opinion. That's what they call opinions. Everybody got elbows and knees, just like my guy on Worldwide L always says. But like you said, yeah, especially now, it's been a lot of like just frustration, and I'm not sure if it's because just how the teams have been and people just wanting to take it out and they don't have a proper place to vent. But you guys got to understand, we got into this for the fun of it,
Yeah.
right? We got into this because we're not getting paid from a mainstream outlet. We got into this to prove them wrong, and I think people need to go back to that and remember why they got into this.
Yeah, man. And then we got guys like Andy here that he just wants to get on the pod so everybody can see his beautiful face, his beautiful blue eyes. He's from Poland. Hey, look at me, blah blah. You will get come on this. Let me come on the show again so I can, I'm just kidding, man. And Andy's dope, man. Andy's in
Yeah,
Poland right
salute
now,
to
9 hours
Andy.
away, bro.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's whenever you hear perspective and it has a European accent on it, just because we're Americans, we think that it's valid and is 100% true. But Andy, my man, salute to you, brother.
Yeah, that like a was that like a freaking like take over this little
Oh no, no, no,
thing like
never,
that.
never that,
What
never
is
that, never that.
okay,
That's
sorry.
why when I drive around with my GPS, I have to have the British accent on it, so I can take her more serious than my regular GPS voice.
I love that shit. I love it. I love it. But yeah, tell me tell me more about the project you guys are doing with Hardwell.
Mm.
Like what was that show about?
Well, for the love of the game, it was something that myself, Worldwide L, and two other guys, if you guys know Latrell Spreero, we started like a year ago. Spree had to go handle his kid stuff. Zach had to go do his thing. Me and L, we started to back up. L was like, let's bring in Hardwell. I was like, I was in agreement with it because I always loved Hardwell, and the three of us had a great dynamic because they're older than me, but they grew up in Far Rockaway. But I lived in Far Rockaway for like my early years, went from elementary school to junior high school. So that's why I lived that, and that's the connection that we the three of us shared. And it was just always great vibes. And then I had a situation over the summer or right before the summer that I couldn't commit to the afternoon slots. I had to take care of some family stuff. So I had to fall back. But then I got this opportunity and I just had to run with it. And L and Hardwill, they took for the love of the game and they're making it what it is right now.
Yeah, that's what's up. It's all about having fun, like you said, at the end of the
Mm,
day. But at the same time, you guys could do your thing, I could do my thing. But listen,
mhm.
it's just like TV. Click, click, click. You can support this. I could watch
Yeah.
this when I get a chance. Subscribe to it. And then oh man, I forgot he put out a video. Let me go back and see.
Mhm.
It's the new thing. So really, 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 really excited about what we're doing here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what's
It's
going
just
on with
like
the Yankees, man?
with the Yankees right now, it's dire straight right now. They're playing as horrible as the Knicks was playing last year, but ultimately, there's a lot of Yankee fans that have an arrogant attitude that they feel that the Yankees need to win every game. Right, the Yankees need to win a championship every year, and I'm one of those fans that I've never liked, having that 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 view process or having that thought process. So I'm somebody that likes to just be the positive. Like I just said, I love being positive and just looking outside the box because the Yankees over these past 20 years, they won a championship. They've been in the playoffs almost every year, minus 2 seasons. And if you were a fan base from like the Cincinnati Reds or from the Pittsburgh Pirates, any other fan base would take that. I know as a Knicks fan, I would take that to a championship and being in the playoffs every year in 20 years. I'll take that.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about 27. We got 27, right? 27
Yeah,
championships.
27. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you got all that hardware, you kind of expect to win every freaking game.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what you hear. Oh, you just expect it. I was like, I get it. You can expect it, but at the same time, enjoy what's out there, and just if they lose, don't take it personal because at the end of the day, it was that famous line from the movie The Bronx Tale when he
Yeah,
said, Mickey Mantle don't pay your father's rent. What are you crying for? It's the same thing. The Yankees and these sports teams, they don't pay our rent. So why why are we gonna take it personal? Salute to my guy Shot Powers in the chat, my guy.
yeah, Shy is dope too. We got to get Shy on here
Yeah.
too, man, to see if he's my friend too on this
Hmm.
Diehard Knicks podcast. Yeah.
No, you definitely have friends out there, Eru. I tell you, I'm one of them. If this was the MySpace days, you'd definitely be in my top 20.
All right, cool, cool. That sounds good. Listen, I like to give hugs. I tell people that all the time, man. So don't if you see me in the street, don't be don't be surprised. If you feel my stomach press against yours, okay? You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
it's all good. I can match you with mines.
But listen, turn to the side though. I don't want no
Yeah,
surprises.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So I mean, all right, you do the Yankees thing, right? So
Mhm.
what came first? Yankees, Knicks, hip hop, or whatever. What's like? Can do you want to do like a ranking system? Because there's so much
Oh,
things.
for
You know,
me, I would have to say it was hip hop first. I went to Brooklyn High School of Arts, right over there by the Barclays, the old Sarah J. Hell. So I
yeah,
went to high school for music. I was actually in the band. Played the trombone, baritone, tuba, and in that high school is when I fell in love with hip hop. Fell in love with music. I'm not sure if you guys remember there was a program that used to be by Canal Street called The Door. I think they just shut down, but I used to go to The Door every day after school, and there's where I learned how to make beats. There's where I learned how to DJ, and I was writing back in the day. I did music, bad management that didn't work out, but I would have to say it was hip hop, then it was the Knicks, and then it was the Yankees. Because as great as the Yankees been, I could enjoy it. I can honestly say, when I first started watching the team from the beginning of the season, every game was the year that the Knicks got Stephon Marbury, and that's why Marbury was my favorite player in high school.
okay. Marbury, he's a little older than me. He's maybe like a couple years older than me. So I got I came up in that era. Just the
Mhm.
the old. I guess he's like OG. 'Cause back when you're young and a guy is like say 16 and you're like 12 or something like that. He's like an OG to you. That's like like you feel like that he's like so much older than you, that type of thing. Then once you get into that level too, it was just like a whole different era of basketball. You're talking about like he was probably like the last great point guard or
Mhm.
whatever. So the point guard culture of New York City and stuff. So. I remember that era
Yeah.
and stuff like
Like
that.
I remember in high school going to games at Lincoln Academy, Sheepshead Bay, and James Madison just so I could watch Sebastian Telfair play. Like
Yeah,
I remember vividly going to that. I remember going to the PAL championship in 2006 when they had that big brawl in Madison Square Garden with like 300 people fighting on the top. I remember that's the first time my parents let me out the house. I had a leather because that's when leathers was popping, first started popping off. And I thought, then I would be getting chased out of Madison Square Garden, though.
I forgot about that, man. That was crazy. I wasn't there, but I remember that was like a big thing. I know people that
Yeah,
were there.
I think it was boys and girls in Lincoln actually that, and after the game, the two teams started fighting as well, and that's uncalled for.
Yeah, but I mean, you're
Yeah.
from the area, so you already know boys and girls at the time. It was crazy over there during that those days.
Hmm. Hmm.
Definitely, man. Yeah, because I used to be all through. I used to go to Nazareth, but
Okay.
that's a Catholic school. But we was all in places we had no business being. But Tilden was right in behind us.
Hmm.
So it was a lot of crazy stuff in Brooklyn. And Brook, like I said, there was no internet, so you had to be outside in order to be involved in things, man. So
Yeah.
a lot of the places that you mentioned, we might have crossed each other's paths plenty of times.
Probably, yeah, definitely. I always say people we got 6 degrees of separation. Somebody in your life that I may know, and somebody in my life may know you. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. And we have the like-minded mindset too. That's why you like the same things I like. So we definitely gonna be like, boop, crossing
Hmm.
some kind of way. You know.
Exactly, exactly. And I've always, to just talk about the pandemic, but when the pandemic first started, I always was to reach out to you to make sure you was good because I knew that you was working,
Yeah,
because working where you work at. Me, I was working as an EMT at the time, and understanding that city workers and first responders they would hit hard. I lost several co-workers that I worked with. I know vice versa, you as well, and it was tough, at the beginning, and now that we're here, that where we're at, we just gotta knock on wood and thank the universe that we're here.
yeah. So would you say like the pandemic kind of like sparked this whole podcasting thing, content
I
creator thing?
would I would say yeah, because it made me realize that life's too short.
Yeah,
It made me realize, instead of trying to chase what everybody perceives to be as the picket fence perfect life, actually go out there and pursue something that you're passionate about. Like I said, I was working as an EMT, I was a supervisor for the company I was working for, became an electrician, but I didn't have any satisfaction at my job. I didn't feel fulfilled, but then doing this and as a content creator, it just allows me to actually fully love what I'm doing.
yeah. It's a gift that you have. It's definitely a gift. I'm starting to realize that because I talk too much. I can you see me? I be on the podcast by myself, just spazzing, just talking, because I think that's like my superpower. I can create just thoughts and just whatever, just on the
Mhm,
fly. Sometimes I do
mhm,
podcasts, I'll put it together in 5 minutes, and I realize that I love that. I love to do that. It's like a
mhm,
rush, and then just to communicate my thoughts, and just and to see people that resonate with it, that they agree with it or they don't agree with it or whatever. The whole interaction of this whole thing, it's just incredible, man. So definitely for me, the pandemic, with the death all around us and stuff,
mhm.
that definitely sparked it with me. Before the pandemic, though, I had caught pneumonia, so I
Oh
think I
God.
might have been patient zero, because to this day they don't know what I had. So I might have been the first person that had COVID. So
Hey, you you
sorry,
you
everybody.
you no, you probably right because like I said, I was working as an EMT, and then during the pandemic is when I went to Apex to get my certificate to be an electrician. But right before the pandemic, I was working at the Harry Potter Theater on 42nd Street,
Okay.
and there is where I got deathly sick. Like same thing, pneumonia. Went to the hospital. It was like, yeah, this is just a bad case of pneumonia. But I was sweating profusely. I was real bad. But being in those type of environments, that Harry Potter show on 42nd Street, it all brings us Europeans just back and forth, back and forth, back and
Yeah.
forth. So you never know. Me and you was probably both patient zero.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. No disrespect to Europeans. Salute to Andy and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. Anyway, I got jokes and stuff, but it's 1 p.m.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
can't, I can't do like
yeah.
the evening stuff that I be saying. So no,
It wasn't a stab at Andy. So appreciate you.
yeah, Andy knows what's up, man. Andy can give it to you.
Arrivederci.
Yeah, yeah, Andy can give it up too, man. So it's all good. So Knicks, man. You said Knicks
Mhm.
was number two. What brought you to the Knicks?
Um, like I said, it was at a young age when I started playing basketball. Where I grew up in my grandmother's neighborhood, I was very fortunate that it was that neighborhood because right around the corner was where they hosted the Biggie tournaments every summer, right?
Yeah,
For Biggie, the Notorious B.I.G. the basketball tournament. So I was able from a young age to just be there, just being in love with the game and teaching myself how to play at a young age. I used to play for the Brown Memorial Baptist Church. So the Baptist Church League is where I first got my start playing basketball when I was in the 8th grade. And I played from the 8th grade all the way to senior year. So it was good 5 to 6 years of just playing for that organization. I had an awesome time. But the first season, like I said, when they traded Stephon Marbury to the Knicks, I literally watched every game that season. I was so excited. That was my freshman year of high school. Penny Hardaway was on the team. I really thought they had something. I would literally play NBA Live and just mess with the attributes and make everybody 99 and just win 10 championships in a row with the Knicks.
yeah. I mean, at that time we had everybody.
Yeah.
Isaiah was just like blah blah blah. 10 draft picks for this guy, 10 draft picks for that guy. Trade this for this. He was bugging out. So we did literally have an all-star team that of a bunch of guys that were like alcoholics and and weed heads
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun though. It was definitely fun.
Mhm.
Jamal Crawford and Nate Robinson, all those guys popped in. That was a really great era.
Matumbo, that was that first year with Marbury's when we had Matumbo for that one season.
Yeah. Yeah, during that time, I was already like a grown up. What I'm saying? I already had my kids, and by that time and all that. So, I just remember, it was interesting. It was a fun time. Knicks tickets were extremely cheap during that time. I used to have
Mhm.
a connect at the Garden for the ticket, whatever. They used to send me texts all the time with codes and stuff. Yo, $5 tickets, bro. Just show up, and just move it down. Just let people know who I am, and then you could just
Yeah,
go
yeah,
to the
yeah.
bottom because it was
Yeah.
crazy during that time. There was just nobody coming to the Garden.
Yeah, well, I was lucky that a friend of my uncle's he was a firefighter and he had a partner that was an EMT at the same time, and they had the standby events. The EMTs work in the garden, so we had the hookup to get inside the garden for dumb cheap, just like you said.
Yeah. When I was a kid, man, during like I want to say like the Roy Spiral era and stuff, my
Hmm.
dad, we used to just walk straight in, like from
Mm,
right from was that 33rd Street, right from 33rd
hmm.
Street, just walk straight in. And there's a way where at the time I don't know if they closed it off, but you used to walk from 33rd and just go right up to the freaking court,
Yeah.
like a
Oh God.
beeline.
Yeah. They don't got those no more.
Yeah. If you come in there, like say my dad might have known some guys, whatever, or he might
Mm,
have. My dad was doing I think cleaners at the time, so I think he might have worked for them or something like that. And, hey, what's up? Like if you act like you know people and be cool, you could just
hmm.
walk right up to the court.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was back then.
Yeah. It's all about playing it cool. That's all it is. It's all about playing it cool.
Yeah, not anymore. Ask Spike Lee, right?
No, nah, no. Thanks to Spike Lee. Yeah, thanks to Spike Lee. He had to. There's always one to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah. But nowadays, because everything is like so easy, people are not so easily amused anymore. So they're
Mhm.
always trying to do something extra to make the experience. Everything is about the experience now. So I think Spike Lee just missed the boat on that because I think the Knicks were just trying to create an experience for
Mhm.
people like him, celebrities and stuff like that. But he still wanted to go through the back way. He wanted to be stubborn and he wanted to do that thing. But you don't need to do that anymore. It's like
Yeah.
2022. Nobody's like you're Spike Lee. Why are you going back there where the guys are getting dressed and stuff? Like, why don't you come through the front? Where we could throw rose petals at your feet and all kind of stuff and do that thing for
Exactly. No, I honestly I think that whole situation was just a misunderstanding from both Spike Lee and the Gardens part of it. But when it comes to Spike Lee to me, he's a legend. When it comes to this team, everybody associates Spike Lee with the New York Knicks. To me, I would rather have Spike Lee being the face of this team rather Stephen A. Smith in the world. Honestly, if you ask me, because I don't even think Stephen A. really takes himself seriously, like when he gives his takes on the team.
Yeah, definitely, man. The caricature, that's one thing you got to be very careful of with this thing just becoming like a caricature. And that's essentially what he is, like a big time talking head. We say that, amongst ourselves that they're talking heads and stuff like that, but they literally are. They're like they just like,
Yeah.
big ass head and they just you
Yeah.
know.
And then, at the end of the day, we all know that he wants to do his daytime Days of My Lives drama soap opera. Go ahead, do that. We don't if you came into this game, he said it multiple times. He came into this game to host late night TV.
Yeah.
He said that in so many interviews. So if that's what you came into this game to do, then my man, go do it. Go find Netflix, Hulu, go find someplace to be that late night guy because honestly, in the daytime, it seems like you don't have the same energy that you used to have back in the days.
Yeah, and at the same time, like things are changing. So now's the time to get out for all those guys that are doing that type of thing. It's time for you to get out and do your own thing. Stop working for the company and do something for yourself. Stephen A. Smith will actually be excellent in that platform. Like say
Mhm.
like a freaking Arsenio Hall or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, for anybody that's watching, tell them and tell them to shoot me a 10%.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Creators
We
thing.
could be some writers. We could be some writers for him.
Yeah,
That way he
yeah,
don't
throw
lose the actual tone.
yeah, throw Diehard and Project over there in the producers thing there when the
There you
scrolls
go.
up.
I'll be on the little lower third right there on the bottom. That's all I want.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So
Yeah.
today, Knicks
Mhm.
today, what's going on? What's your feelings about this whole thing? This
Ah,
because
with this whole situation, bro, it like I said a little bit earlier, it's causing friction and division between the fandom, right? Because it's a split down the middle. You got Team Julius, you got Team RJ, and then you got Team I just want this team to win. So it's caused like three different factions within the Knicks fandom. Honestly, I wish I had a time machine so we could literally fast forward to when this deal gets done. That way, we don't have to talk about it anymore and we could just move forward to the season. But right now, I'm excited where his team is at. I'm excited and I have a little bit of faith, just a little bit in Leon Rose. Not panicking and just making a deal just to make a deal or over trading just to overtrade. It's showing that he's willing to play chess with Danny Ainge, and Danny Ainge is trying to fleece him and he's not falling for it. So from that point of view, I could respect to have a little bit of faith in Leon Rose just from that because he's not going out of there he's not doing what Isaiah Thomas did, if I can say.
yeah, absolutely. And also too, he knows the game. But before he became an agent, he was a lawyer, successful lawyer. So
Very.
shout out to Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry said something, I think it was on Vlad TV, whatever, where he was just talking
Mm,
about his agent and stuff, and he was saying that Leon Rose did something to him for him as far as like this contract that they wanted him to sign, having to do with his DNA, whatever.
mhm,
So he broke it down to them, and he said that he kind of like popped off, and then he like realized, oh snap, Leon Rose is he really knows his stuff. He's a freaking lawyer, so
mhm,
this is the guy that we have leading the Knicks. So up until this point, even with Scott Perry, Scott Perry, he didn't trade any of our assets either. He turned KP into something else. And then now to this point, we got so many draft picks. Our cap situation is good. We got a lot of young players on the roster, so these guys know what they're doing.
mhm.
So and also too, like Isaiah would have did that trade in June.
Yeah.
It would have been it would have been agreed to in June, and that would have been the first move of the day. Shout out to the motorcycles in the neighborhood, man. But yeah, but but Leon Rose has proven that he's not going to do that. He's a legit like a business guy, smart lawyer dude. So that's what we're leading. That's what's leading us right now.
Yeah,
Just
it's like Bodega Wi-Fi said, right? He doesn't want the trade rumors to linger throughout the season, and I'm agreeing with him. This needs to happen before the season and as fast as it can happen, right? Because of all these rumors, and like you said, everybody with their random source, everybody wants to say they have a source. Everybody says that they want to have a inside track to it, but unless you hear it out of the player's mouth, unless you hear it out of the coach's mouth, unless you hear it out of Leon Rose's mouth, whatever somebody says and has sources attached to it, you got to take it at face value, right? You can't put 100% weight onto that statement that they're saying because they have a source, because you never know who that source could be.
yeah, and tweets too. If somebody tweets something, oh, everybody goes crazy. It's good for us because it gives us like something to talk about. But
Yeah.
people go off the deep end.
Julius Randle follows the Knicks and what's going on?
Yeah, right. But meanwhile, he just got a new app and he's trying to bedazzle his Twitter page to make it look pretty and stuff like that. Maybe his wife told him, hey, you should get this app. You could do that. Okay, cool. And everybody's like, oh shit, he deleted his thing. Like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, he's leaving the team.
Yeah. So you mentioned team RJ, team Julius, team win. So where are you at?
um with me, I love RJ, right? Just because I've been following him ever since he was in high school. So I've always loved RJ, but Julius Randle, he's a guy that he's always had the potential, but he always got the raw end of the deal because of an injury, different coaches in different years. So I just want to see Julius to be able to thrive and succeed in a situation that is beneficial for him and for his family, right? Because last year, and I've called this out so many times, when fans are attacking a player's family, like, it's okay for us to say like, oh, you suck, you're trash, like that's cool, Eric, that's all gravy. But when you're DMing his wife, right, when
Yeah,
you're going out of your way to DM the Yankees general manager's daughter, like when you're doing that type of thing, you're just crossing the line. When you're spitting on Trae Young, we don't have to like Trae Young, I'm not a big fan of Trae Young, but to spit on somebody, I think that's one of the most disgusting things you could do. And it was like after the pandemic, like it was during the pandemic that you spit on somebody. Like it was
yeah,
just weird to me.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
I think I have a friend, man.
yeah.
I think Project, thank you for coming on the show, man. But I think you definitely answered this question. Does I have a friend? Because I'm actually all different questions. Whatever said, I don't know if anybody noticed, but you be very consistent. Because I mean, you can't help but be yourself. You know
Yeah,
what I mean. So yeah,
definitely. Yeah, and I'm sorry I had to mute myself because you had the motorcycle and I had the cops just now just driving by my house. So it's a New York City thing, guys. It's just New York City at its finest.
it is what it is, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a daytime show. I can't really tell the stories that I want to tell in the way that I want to say it, but it is what it is, man. Yeah, but I agree with everything you're just saying, the sentiment and stuff, just because I mean, we have to get back to where we are, like as a section of the world. We're New Yorkers, where we're in this part
Mhm.
of even Boston and Connecticut and Jersey. We're our own ecosystem, so we need to get back to who we are. That's tradition, us passing stuff down. Like I said, I mentioned us being gatekeepers and stuff like that. We have to put
Mm.
that mirror out there just so people can be reminded of who they are. Who
Yeah.
that type of thing. So this internet stuff, it kind of like groups everything together, so people forget, and then they get caught up in the moment because they want to go viral or they want to
Mhm.
be whatever. Shout out to those Subway guys that in front of the garden with Spider-Man
Yeah.
drinking Hennessy and all that stuff they're doing. All that stuff is like kind of like culture vulture and stuff. Like, to trying to take advantage of the moment just to big themselves up. For the
Yeah.
moment. You know.
Yeah, and you like you said, shout out to them because they give a platform for actual New Yorkers to showcase themselves on it. But when it comes down to it, those guys aren't from the city. Like the guys that are
Yeah.
behind it, they're not from the city. They didn't go to public school over here. That's all I can say. They didn't have to grow up. If you remember growing up, you ever had $1, right? Going to the bodega right before school. You're getting a 50-cent butter roll, you're
Yeah.
getting a 25-cent bag of Bravo potato chips, and you getting a quarter juice. That was your dollar, that was your meal for breakfast. Those dudes ain't have that growing up.
Yo, man, I'm older than you, so I mean, $1 will stretch even further than that back in the days. If I had $1 in high school, man, forget about it. The whole crew is eating with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And we all put our dollars together, get us some cheese fries or whatever, get us a blunt, and
Oh God.
and a 40. Forget about it. If we got five
Yo, you,
dollars,
you remember going to the Chinese restaurant and ordering just two chicken wings? Just two chicken wings?
Yeah, absolutely. Pull them apart now. You got one, you got one, you got one. You know what I'm saying? Put the ketchup, hot sauce, whatever you need to put on there with some fried rice to everybody get a scoop, and
Yep.
everybody's good. You know?
Everybody eating.
Yeah, man. We got to bring it back to that, man. So that's also like a thesis statement of this whole. It's actually the thesis statement of my how why I originally started it, but just now with this whole new segment that I'm doing here, Diehard has a friend. That's my thesis statement. Man. We need to just bring it back to the essence, man, of all things. Just not just the Knicks, because this is a primarily Knicks podcast, but it's a culture thing. When it comes to basketball, like I said, hip hop is right there. Yankees are right there. Everything, the culture of New York City, the culture of everything is right there connected. So we need to bring that essence back to things, the
Yeah.
way that it used to be.
We need to bring it back to when everybody threw in $5 to get a quarter of some Reggie, just so we could be good for the rest of the day. We need to bring it back to that era.
Yeah,
Everybody wanted these packs with different colors and pictures on it. Nah, bring me sticks and seeds and a little lunch bag. I'm good.
yeah, no none of this, hey, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I think we have evolved as a people that we don't need to do that anymore.
Nah, absolutely. Everybody get their own.
Yeah, word up, word up. So anyway, we getting close to the hour, man. So
Mhm,
we could talk forever because we're just fans of the sport and stuff. Like I said, I feel like me and you are like
mhm,
parallel on the same wavelength with a lot of different things, man. So I know we
definitely.
can talk about things forever, man. But I want to cut it short. So now, listen, man, I want you to come on the show, more often, just so we can
Oh,
really
I'm
get.
I'm I'm here, bro. Whenever you send me the link, I'll be here. Say no, say less.
All right, definitely, man. So I got you on the Rolodex, man. For the people don't know what the hell that is, I got you on the Rolodex. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make those calls. So hopefully I can get you on here to talk, specific topics and just whatever,
Mhm.
and just really go off like that.
Yeah, definitely. If I can, real quick, guys, if you can, go to the Knights of Degen channel. Like Eru was saying, there's a lot of stuff that happens on the channel. It's not just Yankees talk. They have basketball talk, football talk. We just had Deshaun Kaiser on. If you guys are familiar with Deshaun Kaiser, that's the football player that decided to leave the NFL to pursue his dreams in finance. He was on the show, one of the shows this past week. We had Michael Carter Williams, former Rookie of the Year in the NBA. He was on with the guys for the MMA. On Fridays, we do like a virtual, it's a pay to play. It's like a casino, right? You go in, you could bet on virtual horses, virtual fighters. Eru, you could get yourself a fighter, put him in an arena with somebody to fight for some bucks real quick. It's real fun. Like I said, it's not just some corny, like it's not a corny celebrity NFT project where you just buying a celebrity's picture. No, this actually, you're involved in a community. You actually get to engage and actually play games. And like I said, you can make some money at the end of the day.
You've been watching the show, man. You know that I like to blow my money on the freaking sports betting, man. I'm not good at it, but I love it, man. If you click a
Yeah.
button, the money just goes, and you're like, wow, look at
Yeah,
that.
well, you're gonna start be seeing, Knights of Degen on the DraftKings website, because they just purchased some NFTs from us. So everything is going real good with the Knights of Degen and KOD.
That's what's up, man. So listen, man, the link is on the screen, so you can't say that you didn't know, and people are watching. People will watch the replay and stuff like that. So please, check this out. And I don't know if I want to do it yet, but I think I might screenshot this, whatever, to put it as the thumbnail. So you want to do a screenshot real quick?
Oh yeah, three, two,
You have a
one.
great smile too. So ready, one, two, right, all right. You count, you count.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
I think you did it better than me, man. I look like a freaking
Nah,
bum.
bro, you good, bro. You good, bro. You good, bro. Shout out to my guy State also. State
Yeah,
of the New
definitely.
York Knicks podcast. I can talk with State for hours when it comes to comic book stuff. If you get me and State talking about comic books, forget it. You gonna get tired of us after a while.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that we should talk behind the scenes about, man. I have
Oh,
an idea.
let's go. I'm with it. Say less.
Okay, cool. Because I was gonna mention the state too, because me and state talk comics too a lot. So anyway,
Oh, I'm with
d-
it.
delete it. We're gonna delete that part of the pod. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, salute to everybody that came into the chat. I seen everybody here. Salute to Blanche Tears here. He popped in on the show. Not for
Mhm.
me. He popped in for you. I know that for sure. Because you're the star of the show. Everybody popped in to see you
Nah,
today.
nah, nah. You the star, bro.
Yeah, yeah, so shout out everybody that popped in on the chat. Salute to State and this, that, and the other. Sherwin is always here hanging out or whatever. So anyway, we're gonna put an end to it because like I said, we can go on forever. So thank you, Mr. Project. Project Nerd. Are you going by Project Nerd still, or are you
Well, you could, everybody knows me as Hector. So whatever you guys are comfortable with, you call me HQ, however you want to do it, whatever you're comfortable with.
okay? So next time I have you on, I'm gonna call you HQ or something like that, man.
Copy.
Yeah,
E.
evolve whatever state.
I'm happy to be on whenever you want me back.
Yeah, because people call state, but he used to go by Slizzy back in the days, so Slizzy, yeah, and state, I think I like state a little bit more,
Yeah, a
Same thing
little
with
bit
me.
more. It's very safe for TOS services.
Telling you, Diehard has a friend, man. Yeah. So anyway, listen, man. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Please, if you're popping in here on the live and just seeing what's happening here, go to the beginning. It's a great conversation with my guy here. I really appreciate you coming on, and I'll see you soon, bro.
Definitely, bro. Later.
Yeah, man. Peace.
Peace.